Hello, everyone. Welcome
Hello.
back.
Hi.
We look a little different, but we're the same people. Let's start off by saying who we are. It's like I've never done this before. So I'm Robert,
I'm Daniel.
I'm Toss.
and Toss is our new co-host on the show. Toss and I went to college together, and and we both love Lady Gaga. And we have a special connection to her, I think.
We
Right?
do. Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
the fact that we've been following her from the very, very, very,
Oh my
very,
God.
very beginning
My
is
God.
like, yeah.
That first concert.
I mean, yeah, I put footage of it in the Gaga memorabilia video that I put up on the YouTube channel recently. So you can see some of like the shaky, grainy footage of her crowd surfing at this concert. And it's like, anyway, it was quite a moment.
I still think about like going to meet her because I like wanted to get like the album signed and everything, and like she was like so young and fresh at that moment, but it was like you could see a star being born at that moment.
And I also included the photo that you took. I don't know if you remember, but like they were like, no photos, absolutely no photos. And the first thing you did was you took a picture of just like the entire environment, and then you put your phone in your camera in your pocket. Camera, because we were not in this was before the having a 4K camera on your cell phone days. Like this was
Yeah.
pre that. Yeah. So real quick before we continue, we just wanted to acknowledge the fact that we've been gone for about 5 years. And so if any
just
of
about.
our returning listeners want to ask us any questions about where we've been, what we've been up to, feel free to send those questions in and we will answer them on the next episode. So the Gaga cast. Because, like,
Sure.
let's get to the meat and potatoes of this, right? We're going to talk about Mayhem. We're going to talk about SNL. But first, I think that it's important for our listeners to understand what kind of Gaga fans, because we need to give the listeners perspective in terms of what kind of Gaga fans we are. So the 3 questions that we each need to answer are, number 1, your favorite Gaga album, number 2, your favorite Gaga song, and number 3, your thoughts on art pop. And keep in mind, this is meant to be brief. Let's start with Toss.
Wow. I hate you.
You should know the answer to these questions.
Favorite Gaga album is Born This Way. Favorite Gaga song is Edge of Glory. And what was the last question?
Your thoughts on art pop.
I like art pop when I'm in a mood. That's my thoughts on art.
Okay. Will you defend art pop in a Twitter thread?
No.
Okay. I think that's what we were trying to get at with that question, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you want to go next?
Sure. Well, my favorite Gaga album is Born This Way. My favorite song is Hard, so I don't really have one, I guess. But I would have to say, like, Bloody Mary, probably. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Right now, it's Bloody Mary. I just think it's, like, it's really cool. It has been for years. And art pop, I think art pop's great. I think, like, people poo it too much. It's a moment, and I think it's interesting. Like, yeah. It's great.
Okay, so my favorite Gaga album is Born This Way. Favorite Gaga song is Paparazzi. And my thoughts on art pop is I lived through it. It was lovely. And I don't think it aged well. So that's that.
Yeah.
Let's do some mayhem. I'm going to ask Daniel. So we're going to go track by track, unless you want to start with overall thoughts and then go track by track. But either way, I'm going to ask Daniel to read off the tracks because you're holding a physical copy of the vinyl in front of you,
Yes.
or next to you.
Okay. I have it handy now.
Toss, you want to start us off?
So when I listened to this album the first time, I was quite bored. I'm not going to lie. And I wanted more dance. I wanted more hooks, all of that. I put it down. I came back to it. And then every single time I've been listening to it, I love it more and more and more and more. Killa is a great song. Perfect Celebrity is my favorite song from the album. Yeah, I just think that she knew that she wanted to like have her fans enjoy moments of this album. Like there's so many different moments in this album for different fans of hers. Yeah, I don't know. I think that people are like just wanting to peg her into like one specific thing. She will never be that way.
Yeah, she talks a lot about being a student of music. in
Yeah.
most of the press that she's been doing for the album. And you really get a sense of that from this album.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you want to go next or do you want me to
Yeah.
continue?
No, I can go next. I really love everything about it. Actually, I'm really, really happy with it. I liked it on the first listen. I think my favorite part about it is that there is a lot of mayhem in it. Like if you think about the word, meaning a bit chaotic and disjointed, I think that it's a very disjointed album. It's not consistent. The only thing that is like it's not consistent sonically anyway, but I think what's consistent is that every song is really good, and I think you basically can hear her favorite types of music in these songs. And I think that that's really fascinating, and it's very hard to do without sounding like a copy of, a Prince song or a David Bowie song. I think it's beautiful. It's just like, it sounds good. The production's really, like, it doesn't feel overworked. Like, it's not tough. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I think it's deliciously retro. I think that we are listening to music that is going to be part of popular culture for at least the next decade. Like I'm normally not like Toss's experience with this album is normally my experience whenever Gaga releases new music. That's always my experience. I listen to it, I'm like, wah, wah. And then I come back later and I'm like, oh, amazing. Including with Born This Way, especially with Born This Way.
You hated that album on the first listen. I remember you being, like, gutted that you didn't like that album. And I was like, but it's really good. And you're like, no, it's not. It's not good. It's like, okay. And then the next morning you were like, I think I changed my mind. And I'm like, well, great.
I think I woke up the next day and like Heavy Metal Lover was stuck in my head and I was like, okay, maybe I do like this album. This with Mayhem, I had a much easier time. It was a much easier sell, I think, because there were like 6 or 7 songs that from the very beginning I was like, oh my god, this is like yum 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 yum, like I want more. And so I would only listen to those 6 or 7 songs. So there was like a good chunk that were kind of hanging off to the side. And so when I went back to listening to the album in order, I realized how much I like Perfect Celebrity and even other songs that people don't really talk about, like Love Drug. I feel like we're listening to music that is going to, like, in 10 years, we're going to be hearing it when we're shopping for our groceries or when we're at a department store. Like, I really feel like this is solid, like, long-lasting music that's going to be, like, we're going to be hearing it on easy listening stations in, like, 10, 15 years. Like, it's that momentous, I think. So, but I do feel like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit by how much I love it.
No, but you're right, because the thing is, like, we're not gonna get anything from her for another maybe 6 or 7 years, right? So she left us with something that's like, it's just really good, and like you said, it's solid. And I think a lot of people have taken some of the easy listening qualities of it as like it being deficient, because somebody has to not like it. But I think that that's actually what makes it really powerful, is that, like, it's really solid, good music, but it's just really good pop music. It's like what she does.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's like, it's not just, I feel like the people who didn't like this album are people who just don't enjoy samples in other music. And that's not to say that the entire album is just a bunch of samples, but she's clearly drawing on different aesthetics that she likes and teaching us in a way about the music that she enjoys. And so I feel like the people who don't like samples and who are like, oh, Michael Jackson already did this, but better. It's like, okay, but like, we are sadly never going to get new music from him. So can we enjoy his inspiration through another artist?
Shadow of a Man is like one of my favorite songs off the album.
Shadow of a Man has already gone diamond in our house.
Oh my God.
Already gone diamond.
It's incredible. Incredible song. Yeah. No, these kids, like...
I think you just hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
These kids, period.
I think there's a generational difference happening with Gaga's music, especially because, like, people who are saying that it sounds boring and all of that, it's because, like, they don't know the references or they don't, all of that.
But I understand not knowing the references. I don't understand not having taste, because, like, it's good. I don't understand where like even though it's maybe not intersecting into like the style of music that you absolutely love, why you wouldn't still really like this stuff. It doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know.
Also, like, gays love to compare each other. They love to compare our pop girlies all the time. All the time.
But that's not what's really, I don't think that's necessarily what's happening. It's people saying that this was a misdirect. Like all of the promotional stuff and her having this Marilyn Manson cover and, you know, she's doing easy listening. It's like, since when is the artwork the most, since when is the artwork the most important thing? And since when is it like a barometer for the kind of music that's on that album?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And I think, you know, a lot of the comments online about it's not what she promised. And it's like, she never really said it was going to be anything. And it's just why, like, I think this is the thing with fandoms, which I don't like. And this is just general, like, be it Lady Gaga fandom or a Drag Race fandom. It's like, these artists aren't, like, they're not coming to us to take a poll as to like what they should create. It's like they like having the fans, otherwise, you know, they probably wouldn't be doing it. And they appreciate the fandom, but we don't have control. And if we did, how boring would that be? How boring would it be if Lady Gaga made music for exactly how I like it, or Robert likes it, or Toss likes it? Like, that would be great for you, but like, it has to be wider and it has to be more interesting. And I think also, like, challenge what you like. Like, it's this thing now, right, with the internet where, and I sound really old saying that, but it's like, these kids, it's all about the hot takes because it gets clicks and it's provocative and, you know, saying like the nachos thing. It's like yours, like, I love reheated nachos. Like, you buy them and then you have them the next day because everybody knows when you reheat your food, it's had time to marinate and really soak in the flavors. And Lady Gaga's very flavorful right now. There we go.
Wow. With that, I think we should move on. I was actually going to pull the Gen Z viewers in close and share something with them. We were promised a lot during Art Pop, and you maybe weren't there for it, but we were promised so much and we didn't get it. And it was sad. So it is much better to go in excited that you're getting something and appreciating it, you know, for exactly what it is. I still don't get it. This is such good music. Anyway, I'm gonna talk myself into a tizzy. Let's start with the track by track.
Okay.
All right.
What's the first song? I forget what it is.
The first song is Disease.
Oh, Disease, right, that one.
Incredible.
That one.
I mean, I feel like the entire internet has already said anything that we could possibly repeat about Disease. It's genius. I love it. The chains, yes.
Oh my god,
Yum.
Disease
The chains are the best part.
I love Disease is incredible. It's like I'm so angry that Disease did not get its flowers.
It really didn't.
Yeah, like Disease is an incredible song.
It's amazing. It's like one of the best things she's ever
its
done.
Flowers in terms of the charting?
The charting, yeah, the charts.
Oh, okay, I see. I don't know. I don't feel that. Maybe it's because I don't know. I do check the charts and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know why it just doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't mean much to me. But yeah, I defy any non-Gaga fan to hate Disease. Like, it's not possible.
It's like instantly iconic, I think. Like, from that like scream that she does when she's lying on the car to like the very end, it's just like, it's so engaging, I think, and dark and like scary. I don't know. It's amazing.
It kind of doesn't help that Disease came out right before the election because it is woven into my memory of that entire day. I mean, probably also because I was a poll worker and we were kind of like all trauma bonding. And so like as soon as we were let out to do anything, I would just get in the car and blast Disease until it was gone. Are we ready to move on to track 2?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. Like, no notes. The song is like just like an earworm. It's like she knows how to perfectly create a pop sensation song. It's incredible. I love like the chanting. I love like the theatrics of it in the hook, in the bridge. It's like I love Abracadabra.
Yeah, same. I love that she almost creates this. Well, it's supposed to be a spell, but like she regularly just adds like gibberish that happens to have her name in it, and I love that. This time it was a spell. Yeah, the reference to Phantom of the Opera, like Gaga, like whoa, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Daniel, thought?
I'm just gonna say it's amazing. That's gonna be me this whole conversation. It's gonna sound very boring.
I feel like when we get further into the track list, it's going to get a little more interesting because I have a lot more to say about some of the other songs.
I have to be honest, after Abracadabra came out, the only 3 songs I would listen to on loop until Thursday when the album, well, when we got the album.
Don't you mean Friday?
Friday morning.
Friday?
Yeah, Friday morning. When we got the album, the only 3 songs I was listening to on loop anytime I was listening to music were Disease, Abracadabra, and Die With A Smile because I liked them that much. And I never just get sucked into that, but like, it just nothing would do. Like nothing else that I had on my phone was enough. It's just like, I don't mind listening to them on repeat, and that's not the case with a lot of music. But I do think it really takes you on all these like journeys and like it's gonna sound cliche, but there's so many ups and downs that it's like, it's not boring. It's kind of different from start to finish in many ways. And I mean, and the visuals just kind of like made it perfect. But like that's, I think, if not with songwriting and the production, but she's so good with the visuals and like the team that she works with. It's like, you're pretty sure that you're getting exactly what she pictured this to be. So I don't know. I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah, super, super well thought out. Just the Abracadabra music video gave me the same, like seeing the dancers in that formation when the camera first pans over them. It gave me the same feeling as when I saw the Bad Romance video for the first time and it panned to all of those tubs.
Oh my god, the tubs.
What are those? What are they?
The pods. The
pods. Thank you.
Pods. Yeah.
When the camera just pans to all the pods, I was like, wow. Abracadabra is stellar. I feel like we have a new Bad Romance. A new Bad Romance has entered the chat. Yeah, it's coming. I wanted to, before we get into the next track, I wanted to pull over real quick. And Toss, you mentioned that your favorite Gaga song is Edge of Glory. I wanted to get a little more because that's actually like Daniel and I's wedding song.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
So I'm a sucker for like power ballad, rock anthem. Like that's like my music. I love all of that stuff from the 80s and 90s. And like, I don't know, every time I hear Edge of Glory, I can never like turn it off. It's like, it's a beautiful song to me. It's got like so much like just heart and soul in it. And that's what I love about Edge of Glory. And it's like timeless. To me, it's a timeless song.
That saxophone solo. Like if the rest of the song wasn't so like comforting, like there's something about the melody of that song that is very comforting. That saxophone solo like sells it completely. Yeah. Like it's amazing. Okay, let's keep moving with some mayhem. Yeah.
The third song is Garden of Eden.
Yeah,
I like
to take you to the Garden of Eden.
I love it. It's giving me Britney vibes too. Surprisingly.
Oh my god, that's the first time we heard it. I was like, Robert, this sounds like Do Something. That like it sounds.
Yeah.
It just.
It's giving me Britney, who is also like my heart. Britney.
Your queen.
Yes. Yeah. So my queens are Gaga, Britney, and Whitney. Forever, ever. Those are my queens.
I didn't know Whitney was so high up on the list for you. That's interesting.
I respect Madonna, and I love Madonna, and I love her music, but she's probably right after. Right after those.
The way you were like, I respect Madonna, but just very funny.
Yeah.
I originally thought Garden of Eden was an AI creation because there were pieces of it that leaked on the internet. And I will be honest with you, out of context, it sounds insane. However, when you put it all together, it's just a silly song that, you know, I could see an entire dance floor of people chanting that song at a club. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't know. I think that the silliness that comes through in Garden of Eden is definitely something that like is a lot of the like what drives Gaga is being silly, is finding a way to make sure there's joy even in these, areas where like, because a lot of it is her dealing with her trauma with music, and so
Hmm.
she'll occasionally give us a, oh Mickey, you're so fine, and it's like, yeah, of course, because like, you wanna have, just joy sometimes, not joy
Yeah.
and pain. Should we move on?
Yes.
The next song is
Okay.
Perfect Celebrity. I love this song.
Love,
Sorry.
love, love, love. Number one for me on
It's so
Mayhem.
good.
Perfect Celebrity
It
is
really
number
is.
one. And it's because my music, for me, I grew up as like a rocker, like all of that. Going to Warped Tour, all of that stuff. Like it just like heals me. Like that screaming and that music and that like just
Hmm.
guttural sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the number one for me.
I like how she's so angry. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like we've ever heard her this angry before, but it's almost like she's also angry at herself because like she did not that she did this to herself, but like her thing was essentially constructing her own fame for the sake of it, and so it's almost like she imploded at a certain point, and we all kind of saw it happen on subsequent albums, and it seems like she's just angry at herself, angry at the industry, at pleasing people, and I think it's something that she never really allows to come out, right? Because she's always like performing and giving people what they want, and this I think is kind of for her, like quite a bit, I think. Yeah.
I still remember on my first listen, A Perfect Celebrity felt a little cringy, but then we got to that chorus and I was like, she is experiencing some emotions right now. She talks about how angry she is and how that comes through in the song, and I expected something a little bit less refined, and so to hear it and it be this organized chaos of a song is like, I would not be surprised if this was the next single, maybe the biggest single, the one that most people remember. It's just like, it's a lot. There's a lot of herself coming through in this
Oh
song.
yeah, absolutely.
Next is Can't Stop the High. It's a bonus track.
Okay, so we're not talking about bonus tracks because we haven't had as much,
Yeah.
like,
Haven't had
because they're
enough
not
time.
because they're not on digital platforms. We haven't had as much time with those as we have with the like standard edition.
The standard edition, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go
Okay.
ahead and skip over that one, please.
All right. So the next one is Vanish Into You.
Okay. Can I tell you a story real quick? When I was listening to all of Mayhem, I was like it was a day when I had a lot of chores to do, basically around the house. And I was emptying the dishwasher when this song came on. And I remember thinking, wow, I'm crying to a dance song in my kitchen while I'm emptying the dishwasher. This is so suburban. Like like I am in a suburban fantasia right now. Ugh. Like when I said we are listening to the music that we're going to be hearing at the grocery store in 10 years, like I'm talking about this one. Like
Yeah.
this one.
This
Oh,
one.
so good.
I
Ugh.
yeah. This was like a oh my god for me. I was like I loved it. And like I did start crying after like hearing it. It was beautiful. I don't know. I think it's like one of her best as well. It's definitely up there for me.
Yeah. It's like the best. It's like so painful but so good. Like it's like a good pain. And it to me it feels very much like a real like a power ballad in a way. And it's just that like that longing, that like feeling, it's so like heart wrenching. Like it made me cry several times because I just thought like that must be so painful to be in that like that spot. And then like you're expressing it in this beautiful way. It's just really, I don't know, like personal and sad, I think, but
Yeah.
triumphant. It's yeah, it's just I think really, really great.
It's also exemplary work because not everyone can take a one letter word like I and turn it into 9 syllables. 9,
Mhm.
count it, 9. Like, I'm so happy that our team is winning right now. That's all I have to say. I'm so happy our team is winning right now. Next track.
That's track.
The next track is Killa featuring
Killer,
Gustavo Stein.
killer.
Yes,
Ugh.
amazing. It's perfect.
So good.
It's
Like Bowie, David Bowie.
Mhm.
Come on, Come on.
I'm so happy that they finally like let her use that that sample. Because I was telling Robert, I read a few years ago that she had been wanting to both collaborate with him and get a sample from the estate, and they wouldn't give it to her for whatever reason,
Yeah.
which is why there's that leaked demo of Babylon that never came out that everybody wants because like, she couldn't get the rights for it. I just think Kill so funky and like glam rock, and then the way she performed it as well. Again, it's like a 10 out of 10. Like so far, every song is just like more like she's so piggy. She's so piggy on this album.
Piggy of the week.
Piggy of the week of the year.
Of the week. Piggy of the week.
Like
Eating.
yeah.
Man, Killa. Like, and boy, you're gonna die tonight. Like, what? Like, this is her talking her shit right now. Like, what? Ugh. And it's so different. Anyway, it's, I don't know how you two feel about it, but her performance of it on SNL last night, which we'll get into in a little more detail, it changed the perspective of, like, I saw her being in a different chapter of her life on SNL last night. You know, like,
Yeah.
I feel like you don't normally feel it that hard or get to see behind that wall, but it, like, you could feel it. And it's just like,
absolutely.
Again, deliciously retro. That 70s ass performance. So good. Anyway.
Next is Zombie Boy.
Zombie Boy.
Back to the silliness.
Love
It's
it.
this album has a lot of like, I think camp entries in it, you know, where they're like, they are silly and pop and like you could see them like in a WB show. And I mean that in like the best way. You know, like it's a theme song or at a prom. Like it's very, I don't know if anybody out there listened to Alaska's album Red, but this is what Mayhem gives me is Red, but a la Gaga, where, you know, Alaska was taking different like eras of music and doing her own thing with them. Alaska is as good as Gaga. There.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like this song a lot too. It gives me weekend vibes as well. Yeah. The
outro.
The outro. Oh my god, the outro.
Wow. Do you feel, because this is my conspiracy theory, I think that she's teasing that, first of all, I think we're getting a remix album from Mayhem. And secondly, I think that the outro to Zombie Boy is her teasing that The Weeknd is going to join her on the remix.
That's a good theory.
That's my theory. I don't have a tinfoil hat to put on, but, you know, that's my theory. Should we move on?
Shall we go?
Yeah.
The next song is Love Drug.
Oh,
Love Drug.
This is the earworm that is currently affecting me right now. Love Drug.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, I think it's something about that, like, dun 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 dun, like at the very beginning. It feels like it's already a classic song.
Absolutely.
Like, Bruce Springsteen, she's coming for your gig. Bruce Springsteen.
Next track.
Who's next?
Who's up next is How Bad Do You Want Me?
Oh, not that bad.
Yeah, you don't like this one very much, do you? It sounds amazing.
Okay. All right.
I don't hate it anymore.
Let's talk about How Bad Do You Want Me? I started laughing the first time I heard this when first listen of the album, because like it's obviously very Taylor coded, and it's very Ally Main coded. But I love it. I love it. It's just like a cute bubblegum pop song, and like it's catchy. It like gives you like just that like vibe, and like it's good to be on the album. I would not get rid of that song.
It's very why did you do that to me? It's very that. I like it, man.
I told you it was fantastic. You didn't like it at first, but I was like, it's really catchy. I think it has like a, you know, it definitely has the, you know, why did you do that to me, but like elevated and like perfected and not. I feel like that song was maybe supposed to be a joke, but I don't think this is. Like, I think this is very like, you know, genuine and fully thought out, I think.
To me, that's the one that sounds the most like, you know, a specific other song, which is the, like, Only You, I think is the name of the song. It's a song from the 80s. It sounds like almost exactly that song. So I didn't really go right to Taylor on that one, but I also don't listen to Taylor, so I wouldn't have because I don't know what it sounds like. Sorry. Next track.
Don't Call Tonight is the next track.
Yeah, don't call.
You're not a fan.
I'm gonna hang up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now we're getting down. We're getting like we're descending right now, which always happens. Like Born
Mhm.
This Way, there was a descending moments. Art Pop was lots of descending moments.
Ooh,
So yeah, yeah. It's okay.
it's
It
fine.
it's a fine.
It's fine. It's gonna be really like it sounds like the one where like when you're at the concert, you can go get a drink or,
Yeah.
take a break. Like you're not gonna miss out if you don't see
Yeah.
this performed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone
Uh,
needs a moment to sit and rest their feet. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody wants
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah.
especially right before the next track, which is Shadow of a Man.
Oh
Oh
wait,
my
I
God.
wanted to say really
Oh, you
quickly
had more. Sorry.
before we completely poop on Don't Call Tonight. I just wanted to say I think it's very well crafted.
It is
Mhm.
very
but
well
it's
crafted
but it
song.
is quite literally standing in front of my favorite song on this entire album. So it needs to get out of the way. Moving on.
Uh, yeah. Shadow of a
Shadow of a
Man.
Sha-da-da.
Man. Oh my God. Like beautiful, 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 beautiful. The Michael Jackson of it all. Just the lyrics about like just her and like her having to be in these spaces. Oh my God.
Hmm.
It's one of my favorites on the album. And like, I love it. I love it. I've always been a Michael Jackson fan. Michael Jackson was one of like the first pop records I've ever listened to. It was, which one was it? Dangerous. Dangerous was my
Mm.
first Michael Jackson album. Uh, like he's just up there. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, Michael is a big, obviously his legacy is huge. When we were kids, he was the biggest pop star and Gaga's a huge fan.
Yeah.
And you can hear that all over this album, but especially with this song. And I know that there are rumors about what is this called? About a telephone part 2. And a lot of people are saying that it's going to be on Don't Call Tonight. I think that she should have Beyonce join her on the remix of Shadow of a Man.
Mm.
Ooh,
That's the
that'd be
rumor.
great.
I thought I heard the streets are saying that Telephone Part 2 will be part of Beyonce's third.
Ooh, I'm excited for that Tina Turner album to come out. I wonder how she's going to be sitting on the horse this time. You think she's going to be backwards? Like, how she's going to sit on the horse this time? Or is it more about what she's wearing when she's on the horse? Anyway, we're not talking about Beyonce today.
Love you,
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
The next song is The Beast.
Uh,
It's there.
it's there. Okay, so this is where we start getting into the chops. It's yeah, this song just bored me. I think there's rumors that it was like about Michael's penis that the song is about. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it was very like emo, but too emo for me. And I was just like not feeling this song.
Yeah. No. No. No.
No,
No.
no,
No.
but no,
I mean,
but yeah.
it's not a bad
It's
song. It's
not a bad
just
song. It's another
it,
well-produced song, but it's just a no for me.
this is one I skip over because I feel like I'm not ready for it, right? Because it slows down so much toward this kind of last third of the album. Like I have to be in the mood. It's very Phantom of the Opera to me. It's very gothic, which I like. It's just like I haven't been able to be in the right headspace to listen to it and really like love it because I'm sure it's there. Like my favorite song is Bloody Mary, and it took me forever to really like sit with it. And when I did, it was like she got me. I don't know. So maybe the Beast will do the same, but I doubt that. I doubt that. But maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, the song is cringy. I'll be very honest. But you have to admit, we are at the part of the album where it's like, it's like not quite the end of the night, but it's almost the end of the night, and you're like making peace with the fact that you're going home alone again. It's very like that's the moment we're in at this point of the album, unfortunately. And as well crafted as the song is, next.
Next is Blade of Grass.
She's a beauty.
It's really pretty. It is still like a chop for me if I had to chop, but I would still
Mm-hmm.
keep it. but it's really pretty. Is it as good as You and I? No, definitely not. It doesn't have like enough like melody for me.
It's a little more A Star Is Born, I would say.
Yeah,
But that key
yeah,
change, yum. When she does that key, yum. I love it. I want more. I want another
yeah.
bite. Mm.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
think
it?
it's no, I
What do
want to
you?
say something. Okay, I
Please.
think it is a great song for a straight wedding.
Very true. Because like we gotta remember, like
But it's very hetero.
we
To me,
gotta,
this song is very, very hetero, like, woman to a man love song. And that's great because that's where she's at. I love that he proposed to her with the little piece of grass and the
yeah,
ring. It really is quite beautiful, but it just doesn't, I can't imagine myself like,
yeah,
it's going to sound weird, but I don't feel that way about Robert. I feel a different way. And I think it's like it's very saccharine, and love can be saccharine, but I think love is also like, it's very complicated. And I
yeah,
think that I don't know, I'm going on and on. I think Blade of Grass is it's very sweet,
yeah,
and it's beautiful, but it's like, it's maybe like not for me yet
yeah.
or ever. I don't
No,
know.
I totally agree with that. And like that's like the thing with like Gaga in general that like I love her so much and then like I have to share her with the general public as well, which is like okay, yeah,
You're like, all right, I'll let that happen.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like it. I think it's the closest that it's gonna be. Like, it's the closest thing to like music that I don't listen to. Is so not what we've gotten from her before, but it is just as good as everything else we get from her. Like, that's the right. And this is the thing where people are like, oh, it's not what she promised, and it's like, I'm sure you didn't think that was coming, but because this is like, I think of all the songs on the album, Blade of Grass is for her. Like, that is like, she's sharing that, and like, a couple can use it for their wedding or something. It's very heartfelt. I just think that it's probably the biggest departure for her, I think, on the
Hmm.
album.
It's the monument to
For
her
sure.
love story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You said piece of grass, and I immediately was like, you want a piece of grass? Like, I'm gonna rewrite it for Brittany. Let's close this out with,
Die with a Smile.
yeah.
All right. So with Die with a Smile, that was another grower for me, but I absolutely like love this song now. I think it's like when I first heard it, I was just like, what is this? Like I was annoyed about the song. I'm also not a big Bruno Mars fan to begin with, so that's number one. But with every single listen, I love it more and more, and I think it's like one of her best ballads of all time. And it
Yeah.
deserves
Yeah.
all the flowers that it gets.
Mhm.
I said this on the Gaga memorabilia video, but Die with a Smile makes me think of Daniel, it makes me sad, and it makes me cry. And that is hard to do.
Oh, you too.
I think it's really beautiful. I think it's like, I mean, I like the message behind it. It's a really great song. I mean, I don't think I listened to it very much in the beginning until you told me like how much you liked it, and then I was like, I'll listen to this again, and it is really, I don't know, it's a tearjerker. I think it's really beautiful.
Like a little waltz toward the end,
Mhm.
like it's perfect. Like
Yeah.
the last two songs on this album are straight to your wedding. Like, are you
I
invited
see,
to
and
a wedding this year? These songs
that's
will
the
be
thing.
playing there.
With Die with a Smile, right? To me, that is a very universal love song, right? Because
Mhm.
it's about that. It's about a feeling. It's not about a proposal, right?
Okay.
Like it's very much
When you said that about Blade of Grass, I was like, oh, I didn't really feel it being so hetero coded, but I guess you're right. If it is about a proposal where it's typically like
yeah.
one person exists in one gender binary and the other one
Hmm.
the other, that makes a little more sense to me. I was a little
Yeah.
confused by what you meant by that.
It's very much like Shania Twain's like From This Moment. You know what I mean? It's like or From This Moment On. I forget if that's the right name, but it's very that, and I think Die with a Smile, it's like, it's gonna sound corny, but it's like what's inside that has no gender, right? Like, it's just about love and how you just want to be with that person until the very end. And I think that that is a little more applicable to the community that Gaga serves. Like this is, it makes sense to queer people, to straight people, everybody, but I think it can be very easily embraced by the queer community, whereas I think Blade of Grass it's just not, and that's fine. Straight people have to get something from Gaga too. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So,
And that's it.
And that's
so
that.
favorite track, you have to pick one.
Perfect Celebrity.
Daniel?
Okay,
Really?
excluding Abracadabra and Disease, it's Vanish Into You.
So it's Vanish Into You. Don't do the
Yeah.
disclaimer.
Okay, fine. Yeah, it's Vanish Into You.
Because mine, even considering those two, is Shadow of a Man.
Mm.
3 incredible songs, right?
Yes.
We need those as videos.
What do we think the
We do.
next single is going to be? Is it Killa?
I was assuming the next single was going to be the second song she performed on SNL. So, which if we can talk about the SNL performance really quickly, because we are going a little long. I'm so happy our team is winning, and the
Yes.
fact that she was singing without any instruments behind her for the first verse of Abracadabra, like,
Oh my God,
your
so
fave could never. She could never.
Could never.
She doesn't have the range. She doesn't even know what a stove is. She doesn't have the range.
Yeah, I loved both. I loved both performances. I thought she was gonna do Vanish Into You, but she came with Killa. Both of them were incredible.
Yeah.
Just like the styling, oh my God. I'm excited for her to be on Wednesday, season 2.
Oh, yeah. That's supposed to be coming out, I think, in the late spring from what I read.
Late
Although
spring?
nothing official
I think
yet.
it's either
Yeah.
late spring or fall, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved the the Jimi Hendrix-ness of the Killer performance. It was like a little bit that, a little bit David Bowie. It felt like we had traveled back in time.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And I love when women scream. I love it. And so when she screamed into that microphone, I was like, yes, touchdown. Daniel, thoughts?
I mean, I made us watch them, 3, 4 more times last night? It's so exciting to see her over on the rollout of this album, right? Because we haven't gotten one like this in a long time that's successful. Because Our Pop was bonkers, and Joanne, not my favorite, so I wasn't really paying much attention to it. But I just love how, again, she's just so picky. She's so picky with us this week. There's so much to look at. It all makes sense. She's announcing these dates and those dates and these one-off concerts. And then to have the SNL performances be the debut performances of this album, I think we're just so special because that's where, SNL's the big tastemaker. So it's great to have her on it. I love the way she performed Abracadabra. The fact that this song as we see it has 50 or 60 dancers and she takes a good chunk of the song to be alone in that box. I love it so much. It was just so fun. And I love that her outfit was silly. Because her outfit was very silly. And I love when she does that. Because it was giving me very she's gonna audition for the next season of Dragula. And I was here for it.
Very the devil in Chicago.
Yes, exactly. And Killa was just perfect. What an exciting song to see performed live. And then using all the stage with the dancers paralyzed, and it was just really chaotic and kind of rage filled, and it was just, I think, perfection. I can't imagine what we're gonna see on the tour. It's me so excited.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the tour. Happy Hunger Games, kids. We're getting those tickets.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any thoughts or comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye!
Bye!
Some things are just like riding a bicycle.